the Great North Woods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, a business in Chelsea has been left devastated by an explosive fire.
Plus, we'll hear why a popular grocery store and brewer is receiving some statewide attention.
And a look back at the Memorial Day parades and other holiday activities held around the area. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. We'll have all the day's news coming up, including a look at Emma's skydiving adventure.
Yeah.
We'll finally get to see that. What a great story that was,
I know we've been hyping
too.
it up for days, and I'm almost glad to just be like, here it is.
The last viewing coming
let's
up.
Move on
so,
now. Yeah.
We'll have a lot to tell you about coming up over the next hour or so. But first, to check the forecast. Sounds like the rain is letting up a little bit here in the Bangor area. It's been pouring the last couple of hours.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of rain. But hey, let's get a look at that future forecast with meteorologist Evan Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Sign up for spring and summer courses now. Alrighty, we have a small crowd advisory that is posted along the coast. This will last until 8 p.m. this evening, as well as some active surf along the coast with an area low pressure that is currently passing through. And it's also bringing some reduced visibility out there in the form of a little bit of fog this morning as well. Millinocket to Bangor, Bar Harbor, and many other spots seeing some reduced visibility this morning as a result of the fog and rain showers passing through as well. We're seeing the rain tracking through from the west and going toward the east, so I'm sure the rainfall also helping to reduce some of that visibility as well. I'm not seeing any lightning with this, so there's some rain showers passing through. This is not the only round we're going to have. We'll have a few scattered chances for showers and a few rumbles of thunder as the afternoon progresses on. So here's a big picture here. We'll push this through, catch a little bit of a break, but a few scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder are possible as we head towards the afternoon period today. Futurecast moving forward showing no scattered chances for a shower or a storm this afternoon. And then later on tonight, there's some clouds passing through as the showers will be moving out of here. Winds will be a little bit on the stronger side today. Sustained winds up to around 11 miles per hour or so, with gusty winds possibly up to around 25 miles per hour at times as well. The hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing cloudy skies, scattered chances for showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, with temperatures warming up into the 70s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
Thank you, Devin. We'll see you later on. Authorities continue to investigate a deadly crash in the town of Canton. It happened around 5:20 Monday morning. According to the Oxford County Sheriff's Office, 22-year-old Jared Bernard of the town of Peru was driving a Cadillac on Route 108 when it suddenly left the roadway. It struck an embankment along a driveway before going airborne and grazing a utility pole. It then struck another driveway before going airborne once again and slamming into a large tree 10 feet above the ground. Bernard died at the scene. Authorities are now reconstructing the accident as they try to determine exactly how it happened.
Firefighters from 9 communities spent hours battling flames at a business in Chelsea on Sunday afternoon. The blaze destroyed a warehouse and multiple pre-built sheds. Our Grace Blanchard was on the scene.
A warehouse at a business in Chelsea was completely destroyed after going up in flames. This footage shot by a Chelsea resident captures the shocking moment an apparent explosion went off as crews raced to the scene.
I stood out on my deck and looked to my right, and I saw the big, huge plume of smoke from over next door to us and realized that one of their buildings was on fire.
Multiple crews responded to the business New England Rent to Own along the River Road around 1 p.m. According to the Chelsea fire chief, the building that caught fire was being used to build storage sheds. The chief says nobody was injured or inside the building at the time, but the warehouse and all the materials inside have been lost.
I don't think they know how it started, but the boom that I heard was an explosion. They think that it was a combination of the propane tank from the forklift truck that was in the building and some batteries that they used to operate drills and stuff, because they had like 20 or 30 of them in there.
The official cause of the fire is unknown as the fire marshal's office is still investigating. The co-owner of a car detail shop right down the road spoke with the owners and says they are in shock.
They seem to be feeling kind of, I think, a little in shock, and then relief that both buildings didn't go. And then just kind of concentrating on where to go from here and how to get things back up and going again for them.
In Chelsea, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The fire marshal's office told us they don't expect to have any information on the fire until later on today.
In other news, veterans, their loved ones, and community members all gathered in Mount Hope Cemetery to remember the 246 Maine lives lost during the Korean War. Our Doug Banks takes us to the State of Maine Korea War Memorial here in Bangor.
They've asked me to speak and talk about a little bit about the Korean War and what I remember and will never forget.
Since July 29th, 1995, the State of Maine Korean War Memorial has been proudly displayed in the center of Bangor's Mount Hope Cemetery. On Monday, veterans and members of the public honored 246 Maine lives. Veterans shared stories of their time between 1950 and 1953.
Looking back in the past, and you think of all the wars that we've seen in this country, and I remember my father, who was in First World War I, and served on the battleship New York, and then along come World War II, and my brother was on an aircraft carrier in the Pacific, and now here I am. Been in the Korean War, so it's something you never forget.
While the names of the fallen were read aloud, Cameron looked ahead, hoping veterans of the Korean War will come together.
Veterans of this Korean War are getting along in age, and I would hope that all the men that have been in Korea since and still are there, and we call it the Defense of Korea, I'm in hopes they might join this organization that we have and keep it going.
In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Senator Susan Collins says it's our duty as Americans to honor those who have served. She delivered the keynote address at the Southern Maine Memorial Veterans Ceremony yesterday afternoon in Springvale. Here's some of what she had to say.
We have an obligation to always respect, thank, and support those who make that view possible. May God bless our heroes, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Community members gathered at the Coal Land Transportation Museum during their annual Memorial Day service. Each year, the museum holds a service to honor Maine veterans, both past and present. And this year, the memorial featured a color guard presentation from the Herman High School Junior ROTC, along with a keynote speech from Brigadier General Diane Dunn from the Maine National Guard. Organizers say it is vital we continue to acknowledge why we gather on that day.
So it's important for us to remember that it's not just barbecues and cookouts, that there's a reason we have a Memorial Day, and that there's a reason that we have the freedoms and we're able to have the customs that we have. And it's because of those men and women that gave their lives for our country.
Even on a rainy day, it's important to see all of our community members that were lining the streets of Bangor for the parade, and now here with a parking lot that's overflowing for people that are here, and understand that the importance of those that made that sacrifice.
3,168 flags were also placed outside the museum, each representing a military member from Maine who was killed during World War II, the Korean War, or the Vietnam War. The ceremony concluded with a wreath laying at each memorial site presented by veterans who served in those wars. To learn more about the museum, you can visit their website at coalmuseum.org.
In Bangor, the Memorial Day Parade is organized each year by members of the Bangor ROTC program. Our Grace Blanchard takes us downtown for the celebration.
Hundreds lined the streets of downtown Bangor, waving their flags and thanking those who served as the annual Memorial Day Parade kicked off on Exchange Street.
We've been doing this for a number of years, and folks are lined up in spite of some of the clouds here above us. It's a good way to recognize our veterans and those who have served over the weekend and enjoy the holiday.
Leading the way were members of the Greater Bangor Marine Corps League with the Color Guard presentation.
As long as the legs keep working, I'll keep doing it. This is a nice occasion, a day to remember service people.
For some, this is their first time at the parade.
Happy Memorial Day!
But for others, the event has become a tradition.
We came to the parade. We come every year, and we always stand right here.
The parade was organized by the Bangor ROTC program and concluded with a ceremony at Davenport Park, reminding community members of the true reason behind the holiday.
So we think of Memorial Day as sort of the official kickoff to summer, right? So the families are starting to break out the grills, we're having fun out in the lawn, we're having a good time. And it's easy to forget why we have all those freedoms. And we take today to remember the men and women who gave us the ability to enjoy these days like today.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, down the road in Newport, their Memorial Day parade was going to happen rain or shine, according to one organizer, and they did stick true to their word. That's what I'm trying to say.
Members of American Legion Post 105, along with Troop and Pac 63 and local first responders, made their way down Main Street. With music by Nokomis Regional Middle School, the parade marched to the town's Veterans Memorial for a wreath-laying ceremony, a gun salute, and a ceremony to honor Sergeant Donald Skagel, a Medal of Honor recipient who died in Vietnam.
We need to represent our people, our townsfolk, the place where our veterans came from. And this is our way to give back a little bit and to let them show us their pride that they can't show us every day.
Post 105 would also like people to know about their new Hometown Hero banners. Displayed throughout Newport, the banners represent honorably discharged local veterans who've passed away. The banners will be up until just after Veterans Day. To learn more, visit our website.
So nice to see so many people turning out, even though the rain was coming down. It was kind of miserable. They wouldn't miss the day without doing that, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
All right, the time now is 8:12. Coming up on Good Morning Maine, the 2024 Women-Owned Business Award has gone to Tiller and Rye in Brewer. We'll sit down with them to discuss the victory.
But first, another check of that forecast. Scattered showers and thunderstorms today. The highs will be up near 73 degrees. Partly cloudy with a chance of showers overnight. Lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow a bit better. Partly cloudy with a high near 74. We'll be right back.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously.
Get 2 sausage McMuffin with egg or bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits for $4.50.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Febreze. Hi, I use Febreze Fade Defy Plug.
And I use this.
Febreze has a microchip to control scent release so it smells first day fresh for 50 days.
50 days?
And its refill reminder light means I'll never miss a day of freshness. Febreze Plug.
Lowe's knows you're kicking off summer hosting, so we're kicking off summer savings. Shop deals for every gathering this Memorial Day and get savings on all the items you need to jumpstart the season. And with the My Lowe's Rewards credit card, you can save 5% every day. Shop now at Lowe's.
This Memorial Day, remember to honor the brave who sacrificed for our freedom. At the Furniture Gallery, we're here to help you create memorable moments at home. Add a new sofa, or a new recliner, or how about a new reclining sofa? Upgrade to a better night's sleep with a new mattress and get a free adjustable base. Completely transform your bedroom with a new Von Bassett bedroom set and save 20%. Join the Furniture Gallery this Memorial Day as we honor our heroes and offer unbeatable deals. Maine family owned and operated, the Furniture Gallery.
If you have to ask why it's important to start your day early, here's your answer.
Kick your morning routine into high gear with any sized iced coffee for just $1.99.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
On the Road, broadcasting the news at 6, live from Bar Harbor, is sponsored by Complete Tire Service, serving customers in Ellsworth, Bar Harbor, Blue Hill, and surrounding areas with automotive repair and new tires. Bayside Liquors Bar Harbor Spirit, located at Bayside Landing in Bar Harbor, offering a full selection of beer, wine, and spirits. Open 7 days a week. Shirley's Yarns and Gifts, where you can get your yarn, cake decorations, unique gifts, jams and jellies, books by local authors, and other art supplies.
Well, the fun didn't stop with the parades. Following Bangor's parade, the annual Waterfront Block Party offered free food, great music, and an opportunity for the community to gather together. Hosted by local soup kitchen and food pantry Manna, the 4-hour-long event featured 2 bands from a local chapel and resources from Stop Addiction New England.
We've got one thing in common, Memorial Day. Let's celebrate the people that went before us that made this country free, because that's what it's all about, is we're thanking our service people that didn't come home and thanking those that are still fighting for us. It's freedom, and we have freedom through our soldiers and through Jesus.
The event also highlighted Mana's new location at 95 Jefferson Street, which was finally established after a 2-year search for a new home.
Tiller and Rye and Brewer has been open for 9 years now. This local grocery store carries food and products from area farms and producers, which is something the owners wanted to do from day one. And as Jody Hersey tells us, supplying shoppers with Maine-made items is just one of the many reasons this company was named the 2024 Women-Owned Business of the Year.
It's kind of humbling, you know, we don't make a product, we didn't innovate anything, we just sell the brilliance of other Maine producers.
Sarah Morneau and Lindsay Levesque are the co-owners of Tiller and Rye, the Maine Small Business Administration's 2024 Women-Owned Business of the Year, something the duo never imagined when they opened their company in Brewer on April Fool's Day in 2015.
Lindsay and I each had 2 children within the time of opening this, and our general manager had 2 children. So all the kids grew up here in the office in pack and plays and running around the aisles. So they definitely have witnessed work, but also how work and family life can balance.
The SBA's Maine District Director, Diane Sturgeon, says the owner's work-life balance made Tiller and Rye stand out among the other nominees.
I'll tell you, the women-owned business category in Maine is probably one of the most challenging and competitive categories because we have so many great female-owned businesses. And Tiller and Rye really stood out because they have figured out the way to kind of balance not only their business, but their lives.
Promoting other small businesses and encouraging customers to buy and shop locally also helped Morneau and Levesque leave a lasting impression with the Maine SBA.
And we just get to be the middleman. We get to see the expression on our customers' faces when they are buying something where we know where it came from and we know how excited that producer will be to have their products sold.
In Brewer, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Such a neat store.
Yeah, I love it. Whenever I'm short on ideas for what to get somebody as a gift, I just head right there.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Time now is 8:18. After the break, Memorial Day weekend was disastrous for many folks in the west-south central region of the United States, with tornadoes wreaking havoc and taking lives.
We'll show you what happened there, but first, we'll also hear about our local forecast coming up. It looks like it's going to be improving a little bit as we head into the week. More Good Morning Maine right after this.
There's a way to cut your dishwashing time by 50%. Try Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. It removes 99% of grease and grime in half the time. It cleans so well, you can replace multiple cleaning products. Try Dawn Power Wash.
Protect your vehicle from rusting away with Bell's Automotive Protection. We are the leader in mobile undercoating and rust proofing in Maine. We'll travel right to your driveway using the best and safest products on the market. This is much safer than rubberized coatings that can cause damage later on. We spray all types of vehicles, including commercial fleets. We all know vehicles aren't cheap anymore. Don't let the harsh winter chemicals eat them away. Call us or visit our page for a free quote. 207-659-3805.
The Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub is world-renowned for beautiful dining with a delicious view, featuring award-winning dishes from their executive chef, Arturo Montes. It's a true destination dining experience. Relax and unwind in an intimate space with your loved ones, family, and friends. We are pet-friendly, so your furry friends are always welcome to join you at your table on the deck, whether it's a special occasion or any occasion. The Lucerne Inn is the perfect choice for your business or family gathering.
Hey Red Sox fans, you've got to play You Pick'em Red Sox at foxbangor.com. Local weekly winners receive prizes from Chase's Family Restaurant and Hideaway Lounge. or from Chick-fil-A. Register now at foxbangor.com. You Pick 'em Red Sox is sponsored by Blind Faith Tattoo, Bangor, K&M Auto, Holden, Old Town Redemption Center, and Twin City Tile Brewer.
It's the marvelous Mima.
You tell lies, you gamble, and yet you never seem to pay a price for any of it.
When you're cute like me, rules are just a little different.
Young Sheldon.
Weekdays at 4 on Fox 22.
The death toll is rising from severe storms over the holiday weekend. At least 22 people have been killed, including children, after an outbreak of tornadoes across several states.
ABC's Perry Russum is tracking the storms from Washington.
Severe weather moving east, downpours in D.C., a tornado warning in Maryland. This is the same system that created more than 24 tornadoes over the weekend, leaving destruction in Oklahoma and Kentucky. Debris is being cleared in Valley View, Texas, one of the hardest hit cities.
My mom, she's still in the hospital. She's in the ICU. She broke her spine in half in the middle, I believe, and she has broken ribs, so she can't feel her leg.
This is what's left of Todd and Lisa Smith's barn, the couple hiding in this bathtub with their dog as the tornado ripped apart their home around them.
I just don't know what the future holds.
In Piatt, Arkansas, in the northern part of the state, the destruction is overwhelming.
You don't know where your next meal is going to come from or where you're going to sleep tonight.
The storms are having effects on travel. We are seeing delays at the airports in Dallas and Atlanta. Highways and roads were also damaged. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Those poor people, it's been weeks and weeks of that, it seems now,
Yeah.
including Oklahoma, that just got hit once again.
Right, and not even following up on the people who've had their homes ruined.
Yeah, what do they do now? You know, start over.
Yep. All right, the time now is 8:22.
Let's get a full look at our weather forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Sign up for spring and summer courses now. Alrighty, small crowd advisory posted until 8 p.m. this evening along the coast here because of active surf thanks to gusty winds and an area low pressure that continues to pass through, bringing showers across the region and those gusty winds, which is causing the surf to become active. We haven't seen it for quite some time, right around 5 to 7 feet according to the buoy. So this is why we have small crowd advisories posted at this time. On land, though, rain and fog kind of the name of the game this morning, helping to reduce visibilities in a few spots. Of course, a lot of it's probably the rainfall that we're seeing this morning, tracking from the west going toward the east. No lightning with this, but it's been tracking from west to east throughout the morning period. We'll push this through. We'll get some dry hours going, but then scattered chances for showers and even some thunderstorms are possible during the afternoon period. As this area low pressure continues to track from the west to the east, you can see there's that first little round, a little bit of a break right behind it. The area low pressure for the most part up in Canada. We'll get some afternoon chances for showers and storms to develop as that area low pressure tracks away. So we might get some sunshine going for a bit. That will help to allow for a shower or a storm to develop. We'll lose the showers coming up later on tonight. We will be partly cloudy overall overnight as we head towards Wednesday. Maybe some clouds off to the north, but the rest of us seeing a good amount of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds as well. As we head towards Wednesday night, we'll be under a partly cloudy sky and some more clouds moving in as we head towards your Thursday. So let's run this through here from now until about Wednesday afternoon, maybe up to around 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch in some spots along the coast before we're all finished up. Then dramatically lower chances for precipitation as you head farther off towards the north with a little bit more precipitation possible as we head towards your Thursday. So along the coast, some decent rainfall possible as we move forward this week. Otherwise, though, gusty winds are possible that could reach up to around 25 miles per hour at times today. Some of those gusty winds may continue for a bit overnight, although most of it will be further off to the north. But then tomorrow, more gusty winds could occur yet again. So for today, here's what we're looking at here. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms possible. Highs in the low 70s and a south wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour at times. Overnight tonight, showers early, then becoming partly cloudy. Lows in the middle 50s with the wind overall looking nice and calm, but maybe some gusty winds further off towards the north. As we head towards tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs in the mid 70s and that west wind gusting up to around 20 miles per hour yet again. Let's check out your extended forecast here, brought to you by Washington County Community College. Mostly cloudy on Thursday with a slight chance for showers, highs in the upper 60s, maybe some lower 70s for your Friday under a partly cloudy sky. Partly cloudy Saturday with highs in the mid 70s.
Do you have a wet basement, nasty crawl space, settling foundation, sinking concrete, or clogged gutters? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basement-y. For over 30 years, thousands of homeowners throughout Maine and southeastern New Hampshire have trusted TC Hafford. Basement waterproofing, crawl space repair, stabilizing foundations, concrete leveling, and gutter installation. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basement-y.
It all starts with a Chevy truck. Chevy Silverado with the TurboMax engine and best-in-class standard torque. And Chevy Silverado HD with up to 14 available camera views. Do more in a Chevy truck. Get yours now.
Get $5,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP. Visit your Maine Chevy dealers.
Taking the time to savor Thomas's crunchy yet soft bagels.
Thanks, Tom.
It's Tom, actually.
Right, Tom.
Tom. You doing that on purpose?
Tam.
Tam.
How have we got to Tam?
Huzzah! A toast to breakfast.
Planet Oats so creamy and not watery like.
Exactly, and unsweetened has 0 grams of sugar.
And don't forget, it's an excellent source of calcium. Wow, Planet Oat really has it all.
Spring is here. And now is the time to call Hickory Dickory Decks for your new deck, sunroom, or enclosed porch. They specialize in custom outdoor living and making your dream oasis a reality. See for yourself how Hickory Dickory Decks can transform your existing porch into a 3-season sun-space sunroom. Call Hickory Dickory Decks now for your free estimate. And enjoy life outdoors.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says a tragic mistake was made over Memorial Day weekend, with airstrikes killing at least 40 displaced Palestinians living in tents. Reporters in Gaza sharing that many were women and children burned alive, and footage showing multiple babies being decapitated. Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst has the latest from Tel Aviv.
A civilian car drives slowly through the streets of Rafah. It's a makeshift hearse for the bodies of Palestinian civilians.
Which humanity is this? Where is the world? Where is the nation?
Overnight, Israel launched airstrikes against Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah, targeting 2 senior Hamas militants. In the process, they reportedly killed dozens of civilians who were sheltering in tents. The Israeli military, facing international condemnation, has opened a rare probe into the incident.
The details of yesterday's incident are still under an investigation, which we are committed to conducting to the fullest extent. The IDF regrets any harm to non-combatants during this war.
The United States is weighing in on the strikes, calling on Israel to use restraint, with the Biden administration's National Security Council saying in a statement, quote, "The devastating images following an IDF strike in Rafah last night that killed dozens of innocent Palestinians are heartbreaking." Amid clear disagreements between President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about how to proceed with the war in Gaza, the Israeli leader saying this about the incident overnight.
Despite our utmost efforts not to harm non-combatants, last night there was a tragic failure.
As the war in Gaza approaches the 8-month mark, indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas are set to resume this week. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
News this morning, an NFL kicker is facing sexual assault allegations from 2 flight attendants who worked on the team's plane. A new lawsuit describes a party atmosphere on the flight, which allegedly got out of hand. ABC's Derek Dennis has more.
This morning, former Jacksonville Jaguars kicker Brandon McManus in trouble for some alleged contact off the field. ESPN reports a new lawsuit accuses McManus of rubbing against and grinding against 2 flight attendants on a team-chartered plane while the Jaguars were traveling to London for a game last year.
Attempting this field goal from 44 yards away. He got it.
According to ESPN, the lawsuit claims the fight quickly turned into a party and that McManus passed out $100 bills to encourage several flight attendants to drink and dance inappropriately for him, and that McManus sexually assaulted 2 of the flight attendants in front of other players. The suit claims one of the flight attendants made eye contact with another Jaguars player, whom she said looked ashamed of McManus's behavior. An attorney for McManus calls the allegations absolutely fictitious and demonstrably false. The Jaguars are also named in the lawsuit. The team says it's looking into the matter. It comes as the NFL looks to expand overseas travel, playing more games, and potentially even basing a team in another country.
We have 5 games in Europe this year. We expect to do more games in the future. We're looking at games around the world, and we believe this is our next big frontier.
The Jaguars did not re-sign McManus this offseason. His new team, the Washington Commanders, says it's looking into the situation and takes the allegations very seriously. Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
After hearing from 20 witnesses and being shown more than 200 pieces of evidence, jurors and former President Donald Trump's hush money criminal trial are set to hear closing arguments today. Closing arguments offer the last chance for Trump's defense team to convince a 12-member jury he's innocent of 34 counts of falsifying business records in an attempt, prosecutors say, to influence the 2016 election. Under the law, jurors will have to unanimously decide whether to acquit Trump or find him guilty. And if they can't agree, the case results in a hung jury, leaving prosecutors to decide whether or not to retry the case. And coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll have the full story from Skydive New England, in which you get to see exactly what it looks like to jump from a plane from 10,000 feet in the air.
Plus that full weather forecast coming up on Good Morning Maine.
An official message from Medicare.
A new law is helping us save more money on prescription drugs. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, our drug premiums are zero, and our out-of-pocket costs are low.
I enrolled and I'm saving money. If you're single and make less than $23,000 a year, or are a married couple making less than $31,000, you may qualify and save. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp.
Refine, your local expert in window and door installation, carpentry repairs, and commercial facilities management. At Refine, we're proud to offer Maine-made Paradigm windows crafted with care and precision to ensure quality and durability like no other. From quaint cottages to bustling businesses, let us refine your space with our signature Maine-made touch. Trust Refine to exceed your expectations every time. Contact us today and let Maine craftsmanship elevate your home or business. Rise with Refine.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. It is also World Hunger Day.
This day is observed around the globe to raise awareness about the more than 820 million people who are living in chronic hunger. Hunger is a condition where people lack the physical or financial capability to meet their nutritional needs. According to the World Hunger Project, more hunger kills more than AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis combined. Maine ranks 9th in the nation for food insecurity, including 1 in 5 children who don't get enough to eat. 16% of Maine seniors are also considered food insecure.
And it's not getting any easier, too, with the price of groceries. Things are getting pretty bad out there for a lot of people.
9th in the nation is not good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to contribute to like Good Shepherd Food Bank or something like that.
Right.
Money very well spent.
Yeah. Or just your time volunteering.
Yeah. Keep an eye on your neighbor who might be a senior or something. Make sure they're getting enough to eat.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to history now. On this day in history, back in 1863, the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry, made up of freed black men, left Boston to fight for the Union during the Civil War. In 1882, the Sierra Club was formed in America with the goal of conserving nature, one of the earliest movements of its kind. In 1934, the Dion quintuplets were born in Ontario, Canada, and are believed to be the very first to survive infancy. That's 5 babies in all.
That's wild.
Imagine raising 5 babies.
Yeah.
In 1937, the German government, led by Adolf Hitler, started a state-owned car company called Volkswagen Works. That name means the People's Car Company, and of course became Volkswagen.
Right.
In 1959, the U.S. Army launched a rhesus monkey and a squirrel monkey into space aboard a Jupiter missile, and both primates survived the tests. They were probably wondering what the heck is going on, but of course they wanted to make sure that a man could survive in space. So of course they sent some monkeys up first.
I felt like that monkey when I was going on the plane the other day.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
I bet you did. Yeah.
In 1987, to the embarrassment of Soviet officials, a young East German pilot landed a private plane on Moscow's Red Square without authorization. He was freed by the Soviets the following year.
I believe it's like a little Cessna, and landed right in the middle of Red Square. It was kind of his protest against the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So
right.
It was a big
East
embarrassment
because
they had this super tight security in Moscow, but yet this young man just flew a little Cessna right up through the heart of Moscow.
Cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
In 2003, the first ever cloned horse was born during a natural delivery. In 1999, Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper was returned to display in Milan after 22 years of restoration. And in 2020, people torched the Minneapolis police station amid spreading protests over the death of George Floyd at the hands of police. It was part of protests that erupted around the nation.
Today's birthdays include singer Colby Calais, who is 39 years old. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani is 80, and singer Gladys Knight is also 80 years old today.
Happy birthday to them.
Yeah.
And switching gears now, it sounds like the rain has stopped. It was pouring all night and into the morning, kind of off and on, but it was a lot of rain.
People east of us and north of us may get a little more rain over the next hour or so, but it should be lightening up as the day goes along.
Seems like it. Yeah. Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Sign up for spring and summer courses now. Alrighty, we have a small crowd advisory that is posted along the coast. This will last until 8 p.m. this evening, as well as some active surf along the coast with an area low pressure that is currently passing through. And it's also bringing some reduced visibility out there in the form of a little bit of fog this morning as well. Millinocket to Bangor, Bar Harbor, and many other spots seeing some reduced visibility this morning as a result of the fog and rain showers passing through as well. We're seeing the rain tracking through from the west and going toward the east, so I'm sure the rainfall also helping to reduce some of that visibility as well. I'm not seeing any lightning with this, so there's some rain showers passing through. This is not the only round we're going to have. We'll have a few scattered chances for showers and a few rumbles of thunder as the afternoon progresses on. So here's a big picture here. We'll push this through, catch a little bit of a break, but a few scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder are possible as we head towards the afternoon period today. Futurecast moving forward showing with scattered chances for a shower or a storm this afternoon. And then later on tonight, there's some clouds passing through as the showers will be moving out of here. Winds will be a little bit on the stronger side today. Sustained winds up to around 11 miles per hour or so, with gusty winds possibly up to around 25 miles per hour at times as well. The hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing cloudy skies, scattered chances for showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, with temperatures warming up into the 70s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you, Devin. Well, have you ever done something dangerous just for the thrill of it?
That's exactly what I did on Wednesday in Lebanon. Here's the story. Physics teaches us that a free fall is when an object is falling under the sole influence of gravity. And I was that object on Wednesday at Skydive New England, when myself and busloads of MIT students took the leap and experienced a tandem free fall, hurling ourselves from a plane, falling at the average speed of 120 miles per hour.
Honestly, my mind shut off for like 15 seconds, and then when the parachute opened, we were past the clouds. Then it was just more about looking at the scenery.
And it's okay for participants' minds to shut off, because the folks at Skydive New England are the pros.
We are the biggest skydiving center in all of New England, so especially in Maine. And so people come from all over to experience our facilities and the airplane that we jump out of. We have a special airplane that takes you all the way up to 14,000 or even 18,000 feet, so you can get the highest skydiving experience in the country here.
But don't let that daunt you, because you're not the one in control while falling.
It's my job to make sure we bring everyone back down to the ground safely.
What got you into the sport?
I started military back in 2008. I was a airborne paratrooper. I got out, went to culinary school, and they gave me a weekend off so I could go ahead and try civilian skydiving, and I haven't left since.
So when I got up in that plane, I knew I was in good hands. But still, it's impossible to rationalize for a first-timer like myself. It's a fall that took multiple minutes and was about 2 miles long. Crab walking from the seat of the plane with a guy named Tom strapped to my back. My heart was in my throat, head in the sky, and extremities like a hallucination. And then the fall. Tom gave me no warning. We just slipped into the wind with all its deafening glory. I had no control anymore. Tom was the one in control. And if you've ever considered taking the free fall for yourself, take some advice from a 31-year veteran of the sport.
Life goes by quick. Don't let it pass you by.
In Lebanon, I'm Emma Smith for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
So neat, so neat.
That last guy, the last interview I had, Tim Bernard, he was in the X Games, and I believe 1993 and 99.
Wow.
He does stuff like sky surfing. He's died like multiple times and come back. So
My kind of guy.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a true daredevil.
They know what they're doing. And you had such a good time, you're going to do it again, huh?
Yeah, I'm going back next month.
There you go.
Yeah, this time I can actually enjoy it, not have all sorts of work stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just soak it in.
Right.
All right, when we come back, Ryan Sudol with all the day's sports news.
And we'll have an interview with 2 local theater folks talking about their newest production. We'll be right back.
Whether it's time to buy or sell your home, Patty Thompson is a name that you can depend on. With over 25 years of experience, your family will be in good hands with Patty Thompson.
You can't leave without cuddles, but you also can't leave covered in hair. With Bounce Pet, you can cuddle and brush that hair off. Bounce, it's the sheet.
Looks like I'll be grilling again tonight. Oh boy, Hannaford makes it easy to find great savings and take grilling season to a whole new level. Huh, wait a second. Does this shopping list say broccoli or bratwurst? Who am I kidding? I went with bratwurst.
At Hannaford, you've got savings in the bag. Now through May 25th, boneless, skinless chicken breasts or thighs are just $1.99 a pound. Select varieties of Cape Cod or Lay's potato chips are just $2.49 each. And get 2 one-pound packages of fresh strawberries for just $4. Only at Hannaford Supermarkets.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can do all your favorite beach activities, like spike ball, whitewater rafting, shrimp boils, wade fishing, or hanging with the locals. You can say that again.
You could get low 4.75 financing for 60 months on an all-wheel drive RAV4 hybrid or gas model, which could save you up to $1,600.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
At North Ellsworth Auction Company, we understand the value of heirlooms, whether collected or inherited. With 150 years of combined experience, let our experts handle your estates. Join us every second and fourth week of the month for our live auctions. North Ellsworth Auction Company, your trusted partner in finding new homes for your treasures.
Whether it's time to buy or sell your home, Patty Thompson is a name that you can depend on. With over 25 years of experience, your family will be in good hands with Patty Thompson.
Hi, Eastern Maine. Watch 25 Words or Less with me, Meredith Vieira, weekdays at 9 a.m. after Good Morning Maine on Fox 22.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. The Celtics, a chance to go to the NBA Finals Monday night, going for the clean sweep of the Pacers in Game 4 of the Conference Finals. To Indy we go, looking to become the second team in franchise history to sweep the Conference Finals. Second quarter, Celtics down 1. Derek White to Jason Tatum. He goes through 3 people to the hole for the man's jam. Final seconds of the half. Pacers' Andrew Nembhard brings it up, spins, fall away at the horn, and he gets the roll. Celtics up 58-57 at the half. Fourth quarter, though, Pacers are up. Aaron Nesmith against Jaylen Brown here. Step back in the paint is good. They're up 8 with under 6 minutes to go, but did you really think that was stopping the C's? Here's Brown with under 3 minutes left. The floater is good to tie it at 102. Under a minute left now. Brown to Derek White. For the corner, corner three, and he gets it to go. 105-102 Boston, and that is the final. A clean sweep, another comeback win. The Celtics are back in the NBA Finals. Now let's go to the baseball diamond. Memorial Day means baseball in Winterport for Winterport Little League's annual Memorial Day celebration. It's always special, but this year they kicked it up a notch. A decades-long tradition continued Monday as Winterport Little League Baseball hosted their annual Memorial Day celebration.
We get to walk in the parades, and then we get to come here and hang out with all our friends, and then we get to play baseball. It's the funnest part of the day. Along with the action on the diamond, there were all-day concessions plus yard games for everyone to play, all part of an effort to make the event bigger and better than ever.
And I say we had success. I have a lot of gratitude. I'm very overwhelmed with the community's turnout today. Feels good.
The day was made even greater by the 1963 Winterport team that won the Waldo County Championships, reuniting 61 years after their big win.
It was nice to see everyone again and catch up, and yeah, we were hashing over some old stories.
It's just pretty cool to know that there were people that played this before you and that they're still coming out and doing what they can to support.
When you're a part of Winterport Little League, you really never leave it, and it's a huge point of pride for these former players to see the tradition lives on.
The events back in the day, there was a huge barbecue, and we would have a triple header similar to what they're having today. And it just always brought folks together. It's just nice to see that tradition stay strong. Besides bringing the community together and giving the players a chance to show their stuff, Winterport Little League hopes that the event will encourage kids to give it a try for the better of everyone.
I think Yogi Berra said it best when he said that Little League is a great sport because it keeps parents off the streets.
But above all, they hope people don't forget why we celebrate Memorial Day. Local scouts raising the flags, veterans joining the players on field in pregame, an atmosphere of remembrance and gratitude.
Well, I just think it's cool, that they all just fought for us, and we get to celebrate them today. It's just awesome to know that there are people that would sacrifice their lives to serve for this country and this community.
There's some fantastic young men right there. Let's close out with some more baseball. The Portland Sea Dogs, the Sox AA affiliate, are hovering around 500 right now, but they are near the tops of all of the minors in terms of talent. Baseball America has named the Sea Dogs as the second most talented roster in all of the minors. 5 of the 6 Red Sox top prospects play for Portland, including 3 in the MLB Top 100, Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, and Kyle Teal. Teal, the Sox first-round draft pick last year, says it's such a great opportunity to absorb the knowledge a team like this provides.
You learn something new every day from them, so just having open ears and listening to their process and seeing what they do, it can really help you become a great ball player. It just starts with knowing your strengths and really focusing on knowing what you do well and going out here every day and doing that.
And now to some more somber news in the basketball world. Former Celtic and one of the sport's most legendary big men, Bill Walton, has passed away. His family announcing in a statement Monday that the Hall of Fame center died after a battle with cancer. Walton, considered one of the best college players ever, 3-time National Player of the Year and 2-time national champion with UCLA. He later led the Portland Trail Blazers to the NBA title in 1977, winning league MVP the following year. After a stint with the Clippers, Walton was traded to the Celtics in 1985 and was a huge part of the 1986 championship team with 6th Man of the Year honors. Walton was 71 years old. All right, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously.
Get 2 sausage McMuffin with egg or bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits for $4.50.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm adding Downy Unstoppables to my wash. Now I'll be smelling fresh all day long. Still fresh.
So fresh. Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection. Try for under $5.
The Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub is world-renowned for beautiful dining with a delicious view. Relax, unwind, and enjoy their inviting atmosphere and inspired cuisine from their executive chef, Arturo Montes. Experience their Wine Down Wednesdays with half-off bottles of wine. Simply call to make your reservation today. You'll love the tradition of the Lucerne Inn.
In 10 years, Lisa Schneider will have an amazing second act, thanks to career reskilling courses from AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does. The younger you are, the more you need AARP.
On the Road, broadcasting the news at 6, live from Bar Harbor, is sponsored by Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration DKI. When you find mold or need cleanup after fire, water, or sewage damage, call us for help. Are you regretting a nightmare tattoo? Well, there is hope. Come to Disconnected Tattoo and Art Company in Ellsworth, where regrets are turned into works of art by professionals. Shirley's Yarns and Gifts, where you can get your yarn, cake decorations, unique gifts, jams and jellies, books by local authors, and other art supplies.
If you have to ask why it's important to start your day early, here's your answer.
Kick your morning routine into high gear with any sized iced coffee for just $1.99.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm here with folks from True North Theater, actors Maura Beale and Tellis Kulong. They're promoting the production of Once Upon a Bride, There Was a Forest. Guys, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much.
Of course. So first of all, let's discuss, where is True North Theater?
So we are performing at the Cyrus Pavilion on the UMaine campus. It's
cool.
right behind the Fogler Library. Yep.
So I thought that was just for students, but you guys are renting it as well. It's a lovely venue.
Yep. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's in the round, so there's a chance for audience members to get the whole view of the stage.
Yeah. Unique.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, not just for students. We do have one student as a member of our cast and several as our crew members. So,
cool.
Yeah.
So what is this play?
This play, I've been touting it as a modern-day Grimm's fairy tale.
Cool. Cool.
There are elements of love and loss and tragedy, and there's a little magical stuff going on here and there.
Is it based on something in a Grimm's fairy tale?
No, it's an original, quote-unquote, fairy tale written by Kristen Palmer.
Cool. Fantastic. So you were saying the cast is kind of made up of students and other folks alike. So what kind of makes this different than other ones, do you think, in the area?
I think it's a really interesting script, and I think everybody has come together to perform it. We're from all different walks of life. Some of us knew each other, some of us didn't. And yeah, it's just a really great cast that supports each other. There's a lot of elements that we need to trust each other fully for. And I think we have grown to that state.
And as far as those elements too, what's it like to build a set in that pavilion, in the Cyrus Pavilion?
Tricia Hobbs is a pro when it comes to building a set in the Cyrus Pavilion. She cut her teeth at the university under some very demanding professors. She has directed this is her third show directing for True North in the Pavilion.
She's the director. Okay,
she's the director as well as the scenic designer, yes.
Yeah.
And she knows her stuff. Her work has been seen in 10 Bucks, at True North, on the Penobscot Theater stage.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. So it's I believe, since I've been here, it's the first time we have True North folks on our show. So thanks for being here, guys. I will hope to have you back whenever you do another one as well.
We look forward to it.
Yeah.
We definitely love talking about theater.
But before we go, when is the play, and what's the cost, if I may ask?
The show runs Friday, the 31st of May, through June the 9th, Fridays and Saturdays at 7 p.m., Sunday matinees at 2 p.m.
Oh, lovely.
Tickets are $15, and you can find all that information right on our Facebook page.
Perfect. I love, you guys got a great Facebook page, too. I was talking about that before we went on. But thanks so much for being here this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Of course. We'll send it over to Devin Biggs for a final look at our full weather forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Sign up for spring and summer courses now. Alrighty, small crowd advisory posted until 8 p.m. this evening along the coast here because of active surf thanks to gusty winds and an area low pressure that continues to pass through, bringing showers across the region and those gusty winds, which is causing the surf to become active. We haven't seen it for quite some time, right around 5 to 7 feet according to the buoy. So this this is why we have small craft advisories posted at this time. On land, though, rain and fog kind of name of the game this morning, helping to reduce visibilities in a few spots. Of course, a lot of it's probably the rainfall that we're seeing this morning, tracking from the west going toward the east. No lightning with this, but it's been tracking from west to east throughout the morning period. We'll push this through. We'll get some dry hours going, but then scattered chances for showers and even some thunderstorms are possible during the afternoon period. As this area low pressure continues to track from the west to the east, you can see there's that first little round, a little bit of a break right behind it. The area low pressure for the most part up in Canada. We'll get some afternoon chances for showers and storms to develop as that area low pressure tracks away. So we might get some sunshine going for a bit. That will help to allow for a shower or a storm to develop. We'll lose the showers coming up later on tonight. We will be partly cloudy overall overnight. As we head towards Wednesday, maybe some clouds off to the north, but the rest of us seeing a good amount of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds as well. As we head towards Wednesday night, we'll be under a partly cloudy sky and some more clouds moving in as we head towards your Thursday. So let's run this through here from now until about Wednesday afternoon, maybe up to around 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch in some spots along the coast before we're all finished up. Then dramatically lower chances for precipitation as you head farther off towards the north, with a little bit more precipitation possible as we head towards your Thursday. So along the coast, some decent rainfall possible as we move forward this week. Otherwise, though, gusty winds are possible that could reach up to around 25 miles per hour at times today. Some of those gusty winds may continue for a bit overnight, although most of it will be further off to the north. But then tomorrow, more gusty winds could occur yet again. So for today, here's what we're looking at here. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms possible. Highs in the low 70s, and a south wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour at times. Overnight tonight, showers early, then becoming partly cloudy. Lows in the middle 50s with the wind overall looking nice and calm, but maybe some gusty winds further off towards the north. As we head towards tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs in the mid 70s, and that west wind gusting up to around 20 miles per hour yet again. Let's check out your extended forecast here, brought to you by Washington County Community College. Mostly cloudy on Thursday with a slight chance for showers, highs in the upper 60s, maybe some lower 70s for your Friday under a partly cloudy sky. Partly cloudy Saturday with highs in the mid 70s.
After an accident, the insurance company often wants to rush you into accepting their fair offer. Don't sign away your rights.
I didn't trust the insurance company.
They were wanting to settle fast and cheap.
How much is your case worth? It's probably worth more than you've been told.
I called Joe.
I found out what my case was really worth.
Say yes to maximum compensation, to everything you deserve. Call Joe, the law offices of Joe Bornstein, Maine lawyers working for Maine people.
When you smell the amazing scent of Gain Flings, time stops. And you realize you're in love.
Steve!
With a laundry detergent. Gain Flings, seriously good scent.
At Hood, our love for New England inspired New England Creamery. We make it with premium Hood milk and cream, then we overload it with the good stuff. Like Green Mountain Mint Chip with a rich, fudgy swirl. Maine Sweet Blueberry with real, delicious blueberries. And Cape Cod Fudge Shop, packed with fudgy truffles. Hood's New England Creamery. From Hood, for New England. Try all 10 flavors.
Hammond Lumber Company has been a trusted partner of professional contractors, do-it-yourselfers, and homeowners for generations. It's the level of trust that Hammond Lumber has earned by providing an extensive selection of products and materials from industry-leading suppliers, with guidance and support through every stage of any project, including delivery of materials throughout Maine and New Hampshire. Hammond Lumber Company is, has been, and will always be your building project partner.
Oh, another morning to savor the crunchy nooks and cranny splendor of a Thomas's English muffin.
Tom, which is a nook and which is a cranny?
That's a nook, cranny, 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 nook, cranny. I mean, they should be teaching you this in school. Huzzah! A toast to breakfast.
The Oregon Zoo has a new permanent resident, Barry the two-toed sloth, who's settling in nicely and slowly, taking several naps that add up to about 20 hours every day. The number of sloths worldwide is declining, so Barry, born in New Jersey in 2017, was moved to Portland to help build a self-sustaining sloth population there.
Moves wicked slow for somebody from New Jersey.
He's got an accent too, like a Jersey accent kind of guy.
Water.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate sport for dairy-loving daredevils. It's called cheese rolling. I guess I gotta try this next, huh? Several thousand spectators cheered on Monday as reckless racers chased 7-pound double Gloucester cheese rolls down a steep hill. Oh my gosh, that looks painful. The first racer to finish behind the fast-rolling cheese in each race gets to keep it. This year, the hill was especially slippery and muddy after recent rain. The race is held at Cooper's Hill, about 100 miles west of London, since at least 1826, but the sport of cheese rolling is believed to be much older.
I remember writing about that in the past, and they have so many broken bones each time, too.
Oh, gosh.
Have a great day, everyone.
Today on 25 Words or Less, we're very glad she's here because we know she'd wither and die without the constant attention of an audience. It's Jackie Toad! And joining Jackie are tennis buddies Millie and Deb.